Welcome to ET Studios, coming to you from the Economic Times GCC Growth Summit 2025 in Hyderabad. I have a very esteemed panel here today, and we're going to be spotlighting the role of GCCs in transforming pharma and healthcare operations, a digital lens. Please join me in welcoming our panelists for the day. We have with us Phanimitra B, who is the Chief Digital and Information Officer at Dr. Reddy's Laboratories Limited. And we also have with us Chakravarthy Aravapalli, who is the head of Reckitt Global Hub. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for your time. And I'll start off with you. You know, your GCC is very unique because Dr. Reddy's is a company that's based in India. It was started in India, but now you have so many global operations which you manage from the GCC here. So talk to us about this rather unique approach.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting idea because most of the GCCs, when we talk about it, is considered as a cost arbitrage play or a volume play. For us, because we're born here in India, I think that was never in consideration. So for us, GCCs and the idea of COEs has always been primarily driven by transformation. And given our growth aspirations, be it in the US or in the Europe, and as we acquire inorganically a few of the companies across the globe, it becomes just imperative that we kind of manage most of that, right from here. So in that sense, it's a very unique combination of how you not just do the cost play, but also kind of use this hub as the hub of talent and innovation.
Well, absolutely. You know, we are moving away from cost play, and definitely there is tech play and talent play, which cannot be ignored as well. Would you agree, sir?
I totally agree with you and totally agree with Funny. And it is exactly on those principles that when we started the capability center here, it was very clear for us that we are trying to build a value organization. It is truly to support the business and enable the business functions through technology. It also depends upon how you want to mature in the digital journey, right? Like say, we took that plunge to say, right from get-go, we get the key talent that is required to unlock the digital transformation that we are embarking on functions. And then we got to a position today where across functions, we are able to drive the digital transformations from Hyderabad and the capability center here. And now the next thing that we want to do is like say, as it already touched upon, is the talent piece of it. Like say, they definitely want to do something beyond, right? Like say, what does it mean? How do they can be much closer to the business? How do they can resonate with the ideation and bring value unlocking through innovation? So that's the leg at which we are right now. But truly it is all about now value unlocking, no more about cost.
And technology is a cornerstone of innovation, especially in a country like India. How do you ensure seamless integration of technology across global operations from India?
So I think when we look at GCCs as an overarching principle, most of the time the starting point is how do you centralize most of the ideas around technology. So you're supporting a lot of countries, but most of them are just centralized in one place. The journey just starts off from there. But essentially, you will immediately move into most amount of harmonization that is possible because you're supporting Europe with a certain amount of technology, certain kind of technology, and then a US business or an India business are operating in a very different kind of technology. When you bring them all together, centralize them, you have this opportunity to harmonize, kind of figure out what is the best tools, technologies, talent that essentially needs to come together to serve that market. And increasingly, as we have more friends from the big pharma coming into Hyderabad now, be it BMS, Sanofi, and Eli Lilly, and a bunch of other people, we're also seeing that that hub of talent and the ability to harmonize and optimize, the technology then becomes that much critical, right?
Absolutely.
So it's a very interesting space because no business now runs without technology anymore, right? Be it the field force with their CRM systems or in the manufacturing shop floor with MES, pretty much everything runs on tech. So.
And everyone's a tech company now at the core of it, right? So how would you like to add to that?
Yeah, I would say similar lines. It is very clear that, like say, we cannot have concentration of talent at one place. We definitely have to have a strategy that is truly addressing the business needs across the geographies. A global company like us will have different needs in different markets. So it is all about that hub and spoke and the right location strategy to build the right capabilities closer to the business. There would be capabilities which are very common across the IT, HR, those kind of things, functions definitely centralized. but there are things that were very close to the business. A type of business that we do in that particular market might need a different capability altogether. So we need to go into that model, and it's a hybrid model that's truly working, I would say, especially for a global company.
And when we talk about pharma and healthcare, there's no getting around regulatory and compliance. How do you, as GCCs, manage your regulatory and compliance across countries from here?
Actually, this is one of the most exciting parts of the global capability thinking, if I would call it that, right? Because even as a India-born company, we operate in close to 50 to 60 markets across the globe. The regulations in pharma are extremely different when it comes to each of these markets, right? But you would want to leverage a product idea into many of these markets, as if you want to, provide this access to this life-saving medicine across various parts of the world. You try and look for what is the best path when it comes to regulatory, right? So when you have a global capability center, it allows you to actually look at this more holistically, understand what part of regulation can be reused when you actually look at, from one country to another country. And it actually can, at a point in time, become a competitive differentiator, because you want to take a product to the market faster. Regulatory hurdles essentially become the biggest bottleneck for launching products in many of these markets. So as you look at GCCs, the talent here understands various regulations that exist, be it US FDA or from a Europe or a China, and many of the markets that we operate in, the regulatory standards are different. But the talent here is global enough for us to understand what it means to launch in many of these markets. And that is actually a very interesting trend I'm seeing with even some of the large pharma companies who are coming into Hyderabad. Actually are one of the first few functions outside the typical HR, finance and IT. The first few functions that are coming into the GCCs are actually in compliance and regulatory. So, yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And it is a very unique situation and opportunity for the global capability centers, especially right now. And it is the skill and the knowledge is available definitely to support any kind of regulatory compliance. And the need is also very well understood. And there is center of excellences, capabilities that are built around these particular skill sets. And the availability of talent being there, which is even more better. But what is also important is, like, say, can we improve the speed to the market, the go-to market? And what we can see the trend is, like, say, having capability centers who are really having those center of excellences are able to get things to the market much faster than the ones that are keeping very close to the headquarters and trying to do things. So the lead time is definitely optimized, minimized, with innovative labs being set up, bringing in that expertise from and learning from the market. Like the way Phani was telling, with so many competitors and peers around us, it's also about, like, so we can learn from each other and do things together.
So that brings me to my next question, in fact, about optimization, supply chain optimization, or be it accelerating drug discovery. How can Indian GCCs help with that?
So purely from a drug discovery perspective, the entire chain, value chain essentially has multiple parts to it. And there are parts of the drug discovery chain that are very, very amenable to global capability thinking. If you see the rise of what we call as a CDMO business in the pharma space, where the chemistry part of it or the think through around early drug discovery is actually very, very hot in India right now, because of, again, one is the availability of talent, but is also a part of that value chain that is, there's a lot of hit and miss there. And you want to do it in a space that is both capable and cost effective. So that part of the pharma discovery value chain has already moved to India, if I would say that. And we're seeing a lot of traction primarily from the pharma value chain perspective. But there is an increasingly a new trend where a combination of technology and science is actually coming together, making it more and more exciting for us. We are probably in the very early stages of it. But when you're doing the drug discovery and you want to combine elements of AI, ML, and a lot of data being available and the data being managed out of GCCs here, it is actually becoming a very potent combination to actually say, can we do drug discovery very differently? Can we put a, technology, data, and science together to actually revisit and rethink how how drug discovery itself is done.
You know, incidentally, I was talking to somebody yesterday who told me AI and ML help on a quantum level to do molecular discovery, and that they've created a molecule that is very effective in sunscreens, for instance. So it's very exciting, the space out there, indeed.
Yeah, we did something very unique with respect to this emerging frontier tech in terms of molecule understanding for consumers. We brought in VR technology wherein we can actually give the VR glasses for the consumers to wear in the field and the market so that they can truly understand and experience what that molecule does. I was a little hesitant and asked Phanny to pick up the thing. We are in a very different segment of business where Reddy is in the true spectrum of pharma. We are not completely at pharma company, but we're at a very interjection of CPG and a pharma. We're predominantly over-the-counter kind of a drug company that we do, but we also have this heavy R&D oriented business that we do, which is the nutrition infant formula business, which is all the consumers of babies and infants. So that's a very unique intervention that we have. All I can say is, like, say, tech is truly revolutionizing, and things that were taking months and months to do things is with these capabilities are just in hours. Like, say, we can actually transport all the information that are just lying on records, scan through in few minutes, and provide that input that is required for the, and also the pharmacovigilance as well is evolving a lot nowadays.
Absolutely, and it's great to witness how the two of you are driving innovation from your GCCs in India. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us here at ET Studios.
Thank you, Shilpa.
Thank you. And thank
Phanny.
you for watching. And remember to catch our other sessions at the Economic Times GCC Growth Summit 2025 in Hyderabad.